When the governor of South Carolina, when asked what the cause of the Civil War was, couldn't say slavery, we are in like the Twilight Zone. So,
Yes.
I mean, this is what we're dealing with. And that's what the play deals with. It's like, are we gonna tell the truth about our history? Or are we just gonna say what makes us feel good?
I think you're being very modest. Uh, I think the play is definitely about that, but it's about a lot more, a volume of things. And I'm sure you get asked all the time, because I didn't ask you, but you asked me, which I remember was very interesting. What does the title mean? You don't want to give away everything I know, but I remember you asked me that question and liked my answer. And to me, it wasn't a big, it wasn't an act of genius. I thought that's what it was. What are your thoughts? When people ask you, what do you say?
Well, people often say to me, well, the big white lie is obviously dot dot dot. And I say, oh, that's interesting. I get a lot of different answers. Yeah.
Ah, no,
The,
that's
the,
a
the-
good thing.
yeah, mostly the question that I ask of people is, I say to people, this is a play about the most famous deceased first ladies. Now you tell me who's in the play. Oh my goodness, I get all kinds of answers. It's really
That's
fascinating.
great.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's good.
wonderful. Yeah, so people, and I would, they're not, anyway, they usually leave out some of the people in my play. And I take that to mean that, we learn different histories. But I'm here to help the country appreciate what some of these great first ladies did.
Hmm.
We don't appreciate them really for the right things. I mean, the example that I always use is Dolly Madison. Most people think of her as, you know, uh, a purveyor of cupcakes.
I
She like
know.
I don't know how her name got onto that confection company, but she was she was our great diplomat. She was our great compromiser.
But why did you choose to write the play?
I had read about a dozen years ago, I read The Hemmingses of Monticello. And so I knew a lot about this family. I knew a lot about Patsy Jefferson, who was a contemporary of Sally Hemings. They grew up together. They were children living in the same house together. And I knew from reading that book that Patsy had lied about her father's involvement with Sally. And I knew that for 200 years, historians just would not consider that Jefferson had a sexual relationship with Sally. And I thought, I think that this is the problem. I think this is really getting to the heart of it is our inability to look at our great men and see that they were men, that
Yeah.
they had contradictions and flaws. And I mean, Jefferson is a highly contradictory human being, right? He wrote, all men are created equal. He enslaved his own children.
Hmm.
And I thought, okay, there's there's Jefferson, there's the Charlottesville connection, there's the fact that our democracy is really fragile, but he's the man who created this democracy, right?
Hmm.
There's also the fact, the truth is that if he hadn't been a slave owner, he wouldn't have created this democracy. That's the ugly, awful truth. And we have to know all of it. We can't just, there's we're dealing now with a whole cancel culture. It's real. And plenty of people are saying that Jefferson should be canceled. How can we revere slave owners? But we can't have Jefferson without slavery, and we can't have the United States without Jefferson. Can't have a democracy without Jefferson. We can't have our freedoms. So we got to wrestle with these deep contradictions in our world.